Welcome back, everybody. It's Brainstorm Brewery. It's a very special episode this time because we have a very sober Jason Alt with us.
What?
Is that accurate?
No.
Oh, it's the opposite of that.
I was watching the Washington Capitals eliminate the Pittsburgh Penguins from the
Oh,
Stanley
crud,
Cup.
they won?
Spoilers.
Oh, no.
Spoilers.
What?
Hey, that thing that happened 4 days ago, they're like on
The
game
Capitals
2
are
with the
supposed to
Lightning by
choke,
now.
man. The Capitals are supposed to choke. That's what they do.
They do it a lot, but it didn't happen this year because a dude from Australia scored the winning goal. Well, not the winning goal. He scored the tying goal.
The only hockey player from Australia?
Ever.
Anyways, welcome this week to our guest, Charlie, $40 patron. What's up, man? How's it going?
He doesn't get a last name. If you want to get a last name, give us $50.
If you want a last name, email. If you want your last name, email DJ, and everything that can possibly be known about you will be known.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, just send DJ an email, and then he takes your name and he uses it to look up what house you live in and where you work and all this stuff. What your work email is, what your office phone is, and then he'll put it out there. That's his special talent.
Every step you take, every move you make.
And I had to pay an extra $10 for this to happen, right?
Correct.
Okay. Just
don't-
wanted to make
no.
sure I knew the rules here.
Look, man, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
You don't
DJ
have
can't
to.
help
You
himself.
get to.
Oh, okay.
DJ can't help himself. You get
It's
that.
a perk.
You get that for free.
Oof, just getting that value, man.
Listen, Mr. Klepto, who's trying to steal money from Card Kingdom.
Ooh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know that something's up when he says that, you know.
This can be a good episode, I think. It's not going to be last week, but no, what could be last week? We had a lot of people subscribe to our Patreon at the $20 level, and I think that's because they think I won't send them glasses, and they are allowed to just send emails to the podcast and bitch at me for not sending them glasses. That's not going to happen.
Well,
Look,
you're
man,
allowed to do that for sure.
If you look behind me, you see that cardboard box in the background? That is packaged glasses, wrapped in bubble wrap in individual boxes, just ready to go to the post office. And you know what? I haven't gone. So if you think I'm lazy, no, I did a lot of work to be able to sit on my hands and be like, don't think I'm sending glasses out this week. So if you became a $20 patron based on last week's episode, I don't know what to tell you, dog.
I think if you did, though, DJ might or may not have put together an email for Jason that might or might not get Jason to go to the post office. Where he might or might not send you a glass.
I didn't put together that email. I simply read it.
That's a good point.
No,
I said if DJ makes it real easy for me, I said I will not look up who's a new $20 patron hasn't been sent glasses, put their email and their address and stuff all down on a form, fill it out, put it on a thing, and go to the post office. I won't do both. I will either do all that research or I will go to the post office with your glasses. So DJ has sent me a list of everybody that needs glasses. You know what? I think I'll send them out. I'm feeling generous. So if you became a $20 patron recently, you're going to get glasses. If you became a $20 patron a long time ago and you're waiting on your glasses, congratulations. You got to give me a hard time in an email to the podcast and make me look foolish. So
Jason
congrats. That's all you really wanted.
He might send you glasses or he might Squatty Potty you. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. It's a new thing. We call it scat fishing, where you promise to do something.
Yep.
So tweet at Squatty Potty and ask them when they're going to come through with the Brainstorm Brewery sponsorship, because I did that last week and it was a pretty popular tweet. So let's just keep up the campaign of pressure on Squatty Potty. Be like,
Send their
I will.
emails. Just give them the email address that you used.
Yeah, man.
Oh gosh, and we blow up the guy who may or may not even work there anymore.
Hey, man. There's some turnover at the Squatty Potty. I think
Squatty Potty people are pretty used to dealing with pressure, though, right? Isn't that literally their whole thing?
No, they're about relieving pressure, Corbin. I don't.
Do you get it?
I'm not going to acknowledge your pun because it doesn't make sense.
It was a poop pun.
It was a poop pun, all right.
Yeah, that's right. Anyways, Charlie, what's your deal, man? How long you been playing Magic?
Who
What sorts
cares?
of Magic
Let's
do you
do Breaking
play?
Bulk.
Shut up. No, we have stuff before that. Let's let our guests speak.
Playing Magic. So I've been playing since Invasion. Took a 10-year break around Mirrodin, Darksteel era.
Good
I've
decision.
been playing ever since.
Was it
Yeah,
Epiphany that made you quit?
It was $8 skull clamps in every deck that made me quit.
It was Champions of Kamigawa that made you quit. Admit it.
Yeah, no kidding. Like that was Garbo. Holy crap. No, it was. I think it was just like the Ravager days. Like there's only two
Yep.
decks you can really play, two or three decks, and like can't really do anything else. Whatever. Came back and around Avacyn restored M13. Yeah, I've been
Magic
playing.
was fun then. Yeah.
Yeah. Magic was pretty cool then too. And then yeah, just kind of been playing mostly EDH and limited. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you like hardcore EDH?
Oh yeah, like been dabbling a bit into C-EDH and been
Oh, so
playing
you're that guy.
What does that mean?
C-EDH. Oh, it's like competitive EDH. So
Ooh, okay.
yeah, like
So it's like a contradiction in terms. That's what
yeah,
it is.
kind of sorta.
It's like Canadian Highlander, but without the fun.
Yeah, exactly. And you just
Wow.
everyone just plays ad nauseum. That's pretty much the and Yawgmoth.
Hey, you can
That's
blood
pretty much what
pod.
everyone
You can
does.
blood pod people too.
It's like tiny leaders without the player base.
Dude. Yeah,
It's like Brawl without the wizard support.
Brawl
Wow.
without wizard support.
I can keep going.
Brawl's more fun than that.
I actually can't keep going.
All right, great.
Congrats,
No, that's
man.
cool though. I mean, I think we'll probably get to that a little bit later if competitive EDH actually drives anything. But is it fun? I mean, is it fun to get turn 2, turn 3 comboed?
So I'm the guy who's playing Trinisphere. So the answer is no.
A lot of fun then, right?
Yeah. You just play some Lodestone Golds and you beat their faces in, because they're
Sure.
playing like 30 land decks in a 99 card format and they can't cast their spells.
I can't decide if that sounds bad or if you sound bad.
I mean, it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, it can definitely be both.
Yeah, all right. I can,
Yeah.
All right.
But hey, you
I've
bought your
seen
way onto this
competitive Commander
podcast, so
players,
that's
Yeah, you know what?
Even
As soon as the
quality.
chat cleared, DJ was on my case saying, "Hey, you're going to be on the next podcast."
There you go. We appreciate it. All right, guys. I have a question for you. There's a deal that has come up recently that may be the greatest moment of my life, and I just want to know.
We're gonna
play. No, shut up. We're gonna play a little. We're gonna play a little odds makers.
Nobody
here,
cares
right?
about your second kid, Corbin.
Yeah, right. All right, we're gonna play a little odds makers here. This is a popular game on other shows, etc. I want each of you to place odds on the likelihood of this happening. Someone called my LGS, and keep in mind it's a little LGS in Edmond, Oklahoma, claiming that they have a PSA graded 10 Beta Black Lotus with a certificate of authenticity that they want to sell. They claim to also have a sealed box in the original Wizards packaging of Alpha, Beta, and Unlimited. Allegedly, the last Beta 10 Black Lotus went for $100,000 in 2017. This person is asking $60,000. Now, we obviously had to discuss it seriously, me and the store owner, right, about what we would do and whether we try to commission a sale or something like that, right? I just want odds makers here. Odds of this being real. And me ever actually seeing someone show up with a Beta Black Lotus.
I'm going to be super optimistic and give the highest percentage out of anybody.
Okay.
1% it's real.
1%. Can I get 2% anyone?
Well, we know the answer, but I mean, it's like 15%, right?
Whoa.
What?
Keep in mind, I've never seen a Beta Black Lotus in Oklahoma in my life.
I was gonna say 5.
Okay.
I was gonna say 5.
I certainly hope that it's real. But
I mean, like, I can say
I
this
hope that
based on, like-
unicorns are real, and by unicorns, I mean bisexual women that love couples.
Okay, but like I can say this
But
as
that's not
somebody
a
who
thing,
bought a Lotus
so why would
last
this be a
year.
thing?
Like, again, there's not like a huge vintage scene in Syracuse. There's not like a bunch of people playing vintage every week. And then last year, I just happened to find a like 9.5 BGS Lotus in a collection. Like, it just happens sometimes. So like,
Yeah, but you're in Syracuse.
Yeah, dude, you're on the East Coast.
Right, but this is a Lotus that had been in the basement for 22 years.
Yeah, on the East Coast, where Magic was at 22 years ago.
Sure. I guess Magic cards can't travel ever. That is true.
No, I mean, it's just literally a thing, man. When something happens, it starts on the coast.
No. If you're a BGS 10 Lotus, you have prospects. If you have prospects in life, you don't end up in Oklahoma. That's the people that tried to go to California and failed. That's everybody that was on the Gold Rush Trail, the whole...
Corbin,
regardless, neutral ground, wherever this Lotus came from, I imagine at some point it went through neutral ground. Somebody moved to Syracuse and it sat there for 20 years. That's a thing that can happen, right? That doesn't happen in Oklahoma. We didn't have hobby stores.
Wasn't Neutral Grounds BDM store down in New York City?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. All these things probably routed through New York or Boston, etc., right? Because those are big cities. The population density is huge. That's why things start there.
I'll still say it's 5%.
Okay. I certainly hope that it's true.
Someone was on the Magic Oregon Trail, then they lost their whole family fording a river, and they had to sell it in Oklahoma.
Did you look up?
Is a certificate of authenticity a thing?
Yeah, I mean, every graded card has a serial number, so I mean, you can go to PSA's website and look up exactly how many.
I've seen graded cards busted out of their graded cases and be fake. That's a thing that has happened.
Oh no.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you can look up and see exactly how many PSA 10 graded beta Lotuses exist, and then just try
one ever.
Right, and I'm saying you can do a little bit of process elimination and try to track down if there's three. If there's 3 PSA 10 graded Lotuses ever, you can try to track down where they are and see if this
No, that's certainly helpful. Yeah, if you can, if there's only been 3 ever and you can find 3 elsewhere, someone's line.
Yes.
Yeah, that's obviously part of the legwork that would go into this. I mean, first step's obviously just got to, meet with the guy and go from there, right? I just was curious what you guys think.
Yes, a certificate of authenticity is a thing. When you get a card graded, they give you a receipt with a piece of paper that says this is this card's serial number, this is when it was graded, this is all the shenanigans about it.
But are we being curmudgeons? Maybe no good thing could ever happen to Corbin or his store.
That's why I said 5%.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. It's possible, but
shit happens.
Corbin, you're as much as everyone who listens to this podcast is going to disagree with me. Corbin's not a complete moron, right? He's going to do a little bit of research. He's not going to get taken by this. He's going to cover his butthole as much.
I'm also not going to.
Don't say of course not. Don't say we remember the incident with the safe, Corbin. Don't say of course not.
That was fun, dude. I spent $250 on that and got infinite Reddit karma. It was worth it.
Well, what are you going to spend the Reddit karma on? So, you're going to cover your butthole as much as possible. Yeah, I mean, you're Corbin, but you're not an idiot. So, this is going to be a saga that plays out over the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be cool. So,
it will be interesting.
When the guy's I got first edition cards, and it's revised or something like that. It's a sealed revised, but it's Fallen Empires. That was first. Whatever booster this guy's got, that's not the $250,000 sealed alpha booster box that he says he's got. We'll see whatever plays out, but it's going to be interesting. But there's no way that anything that good could happen to Corbin or his stores.
That's a fair point. For what it's worth, I would not ever buy a graded Black Lotus. I would deal with this on commission. It's just not worth it.
And dealing with it on commission, extra worth it.
Yep. All right. All right. I expected the 1%. I didn't expect a 15%. So, all right. I'm feeling optimistic now. Right? I'll be there.
Sometimes bad people to get to come on our podcast and give Corbin false hope.
All right. Let's break some bulk. Let's let the guests go first. Which one of you wants to go first?
Breaking bulk time. Breaking bulk time. Break.
Oh, yeah, breaking bulk. There's so much good stuff.
It's a pick. Breaking bulk. The end.
I have one that you might be able to get, Corbin, because it's pretty easy, I think.
Of course.
Even though you're dumb.
No, I do think it's easy. I have it is a red card from Commander 2015.
Is it, Commander 2015 was the Duretti deck?
No.
15 was the monocolor deck, right?
No, it was enemy colors.
Is it red white? Is it that one?
It is in that deck.
Is it from Wade into Battle?
Yes.
Insurrection.
Is that the red white?
That card is not in that deck, Jason.
I know. It's
To me,
not.
these
I'm
are-
First was in the spell deck.
Hey, you know what? Don't correct me. You're a fucking guest.
So this is the.
I'm sorry. I
this
normally say that to DJ. That's a reflex.
is this the first printing of the card, right?
It is the first printing of the card.
The problem is I don't know crap about these commander decks,
You
so I
should,
couldn't
'cause
tell you which one
These
which
cards
one
are
it's
worth
in.
money. It's a
No,
red.
it's not.
It's
Once
a
again,
red,
it's not that I don't know it's worth money. It's that when you tell me what year it's from, that doesn't mean anything.
It's a red card. It's a red uncommon from Commander 2015. It is an enchantment.
Oh wait, no, it's that.
Curse of the Night. No.
Curse of the Pierce Heart. is
Right
what
of the
Jason's
Raging
saying.
Storm.
Correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
Once I gave you enchantment, I figured. But
Yeah,
yeah,
there's only three red enchantments in that deck.
I just don't. I just have a different experience than you guys in that I never know what's in what deck. I know what cards are worth money.
I bought a
but
bunch of Wade into Battle because my Meyer restocked them, and Wade into Battle is like $115 in paper.
Yep.
And it's like $35 on the shelf. And also the Azuri deck suddenly shot up because it's $35 on the shelf, and Command Beacon is $35.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, every card in the Azuri deck is free. And unlike Wade into Battle, which only has like 3 or 4 cards above $5, the Azuri deck has
That's
multiple cards
wrong.
above $5. Above $5, Wade into Battle has
Blade of Selves, Azuri, or Urza's
Blade of-
Incubator, Fiery Confluence, Thought Vessel.
That's it. And Thought
Gisela.
Vessel.
Gisela.
Gisela's not over $5.
Yes,
she's
she
like
is.
4 to be fair.
It's like a nice little throw-in, you know.
Gisela's $4.30. Nerd. You got Fiery Confluence, you got Urza's Incubator, you got Blade of Selves, and you got Thought Vessel. Those are the only cards over $5.
Okay, you
I
said
literally
three. You
wrote
said there
about
were
this
three.
last week.
Yeah,
Okay,
come
there's
on.
4. Great. 3 that aren't in the Azuri deck, because that also has Thought Vessel. Azuri deck has more cards over $5, so I think that might even be a better buy off the shelves. So go ahead.
But
and
can you
spend
actually
money that,
find these
DJ.
on the shelves?
Well, they're all on like Amazon. DJ bought like 40 of them on Amazon or whatever for like $40 each.
I did.
What
The
was it?
Azuri
Someone's
deck?
was it someone's pick of the week?
It was my pick of the week.
It was his pick of the week to go buy those decks because he
Yeah,
I was going to say
shorted us.
usually you can tell what DJ's picks of the week are because DJ's.
It's
what
either
DJ's
a bulk
buying,
rare or
someone
it's
else.
like a whole
Yeah.
deck.
I mean,
It's
if
like-
someone else makes a pick of the week and DJ's like, I'm going to go buy those immediately, then, you know.
Oh, whoa.
Not that that's happened in the past 10 minutes.
That's after hours. Hey, if you want, every time we say that's after hours, that means, hey, there's a special segment of the Brainstorm Brewery podcast that some of the audio gets cut out and it doesn't make the regular podcast. It gets set aside as a special, like, bonus for the people that go to patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery, and they give us some money. And people that give us an amount of money, I don't know how much. Look, it's just my job to pitch the Patreon. I don't know what you have to pay to get access to after hours, but I do know that for $20 a month, no, it's not 20, it's $20 an episode, right? $20 a month? Oh my, that's so cheap. You can have access to these handsome drinking glasses when I get around to sending them out. I mean, I showed you they're behind there. They're all packaged up. They're ready to go. I'm just not going to send them out. A lot of people after last week, there's like, hey, I'm going to go up to $20 an episode. I think that's good. For $20 an episode, you also have access to our spreadsheet, which means the second we get done podcasting on Monday night, you can look at the spreadsheet and see what our picks of the
Spreadsheet is
week.
$10 a month, not $20 an episode. Jason.
They get it at 20. Do they not get it at 20?
They do?
So
They
shut
do,
your
but
mouth.
they don't have to pay that.
They do?
The people at 20 get the spreadsheet. Did the people at 20 not get the spreadsheet?
They do?
Okay, that's what I thought. So why are we talking people into a lower tier? They don't get the glasses. Don't talk people into a lower tier. Always upsell. Anyway, DJ doesn't know anything about salesmanship.
Always
but he
be
does know.
closing.
Yeah,
Another movie
coffee's
he's
for
never-
closers,
Another movie I guarantee you he's never seen.
Coffee's for closers and DJ's wife when she sorts bulk for no money in his basement. Anyway, yeah, you can have access to the spreadsheet and you will know the second we get done podcasting what our picks of the week and our breaking bulk picks were. And there's a lot of, we're getting tokens. It was like, hey, you guys are real slow on your tokens. And you guys don't know the drama when we commissioned 2 separate artists to make us 2 separate tokens. And they both just ghost us. So we got ghost tokens from 2 separate artists.
Ghost tokens coming in hot.
Yeah. they're Kaya tokens from Conspiracy 2. So we got ghosted hard, but you know what? We're going to keep our nose to the grindstone. We'll find some more artists. We'll get some tokens for you, and that'll be a thing you can get. And hey, you know what? You get the warm feeling deep inside knowing that you supported our podcast and didn't even have to buy a Squatty Potty. But don't buy a Squatty Potty yet.
Or ever.
Or ever, maybe. If you don't want to give us any money, you can support us for free by going to Facebook.com/Brainstorm Brewery and click and like. We're going to do a giveaway when we get to a certain amount of likes on there. You can subscribe to us on YouTube.com/Brainstorm Brewery, and you get that little bell icon that gives you the little notifications. Just go ahead and just finger blast that. Put all 4 fingers on your mouse and just...
4?
Yep.
Wow.
Just Super Saiyan finger blast that bell icon, and you'll get notifications when we have a new episode, and not just a new episode, but a new Brain Bites. Brain Bites being a segment we do sometimes that'll, give you some edification. It's not necessarily a Brainstorm Brewery episode. It's more like a, hey, here's how you ship stuff, or hey, here's Jason shirtless in his basement doing karate katas that he vaguely remembers.
That's not a good one.
You know what?
Wait. Speaking of karate, I can't let this go. Jason, you might care about this.
Okay.
Have you seen the ads for the YouTube series picking up the story, the saga, really, of the Karate Kid?
Everyone's seen that. It's going to be a good series. And what I like is that Daniel is the antagonist in this.
Yeah, he is.
And William Zabka's Johnny Lawrence is going to be the protagonist. He's going to be the scrappy guy teaching the kids. And you know what? It's none of that Miyagi bullshit where he's like, I'm going to teach you karate. He's like, really? Because I spent the whole summer sanding your deck and painting your fence, and then you got to the karate tournament, and you're like, all right, just kick him in the face. You're like, I don't know, Mr. Miyagi. There was a whole 2-minute explanation about how you can't kick a guy in the face and win the karate tournament. Miyagi's like, it's fine. And then, if do right, no can defense. And then he kicks Johnny Lawrence in the face, and then Johnny Lawrence staggers back, surprise, because he's like, hey, you can't kick anybody in the face. And then they're like, Daniel wins, and then everyone cheers, and then...
it drives this other guy into a life of alcoholism, and he hits rock bottom when he beats up children. That is the entire ad for the new show.
Really?
No, it's gonna.
Yes,
be good. No,
he beats up children.
I gotta watch this.
Miyagi did the same thing. Do you remember when Miyagi jumped off that fence and he kicked the shit out of 4 Cobra Kais to save Daniel? That's the same thing.
Cobra Kais aren't children. They made their choices.
Dude, I don't know, man. Cobra Kai, they thought they were the heroes of that story. Because there's a kid, he comes to town, he's got slightly brown skin. They're like, oh no, this is a Mexican. He's come to take our girl. And guess what? He totally hit on Johnny's girl. So what does Johnny do? He karate kicked him in the stomach. What would you do? So he thought he was the hero. He's like, dude, I'm a white dude. Here's a Mexican trying to steal my girl. I got karate skills. All my friends, we're the popular kids at school. We're gonna mess this kid up. And then all of a sudden it's like he gets kicked in the face in a tournament. And he's like, oh, well, he got a point deducted, right? And they're like, nah, you're good. Just go home. Go home with your second place trophy. And he was like, oh, no, my white privilege ended in 1987. That's too early for your white privilege to run out. He wasn't prepared for that.
Look, I'm just saying, everyone, if you haven't seen it yet, go watch the ad for it on YouTube.
Just go get YouTube.
He beats up children. I can't get past that.
Miyagi beat up children.
It's not the same.
It's the
this guy just
same.
beats up kids because they dinged his car.
That's fair.
No, they were beating up a kid. They were beating up another kid. He saved the kid.
They were horsing around. Boys will be boys.
Watch the trailer. Watch the trailer. They were beating up the one kid, and he's like, "Oh no, I was the 4 guys beating up the one kid, but now I want to be on the other side of this for some reason. I don't know."
Messed up, man.
You know what happened? Johnny Lawrence went to college and he was on the diving team, and then this dude named Thornton Mellon did an illegal dive called the Triple Indy, and then he lost the diving tournament. He was like, I've been humbled.
I'm not getting whatever this is.
I think you lost us.
If you've never seen Back to School,
you're throwing down.
Man. Okay, it's cool that you saw Karate Kid, but if you haven't seen Back to School, get your life on track.
Okay.
It's Rodney Dangerfield's finest film performance.
Is it?
Yeah, it featured cameo performances from Sam Kinison and Kurt Vonnegut himself.
Sure. All right, I got a Breaking Bolt pick.
I'll break your
bulk. I didn't even get to explain my Rite of the
flow.
Raging Storm.
No one cares. It's like $3 for an uncommon.
Okay, Corbin.
Yeah, pick a $3 uncommon out of bulk.
No, that's the interesting thing about this card is, do you guys know what the buy list price of Right at the Raging Storm is?
$3.
25 cents.
Yeah, it's basically nothing. Card Kingdom, who we normally laud for having high buy prices, they buy Right of the Raging Storm for 8 whole cents. But the cool thing is, I've been selling them on TCG Player for like $2.80. So if you pick them, you can actually just list these suckers in TCG Player, and even after fees and shipping, you're still making $1.50 or $1.80 a piece. So
Yeah, that's pretty good.
if you pick these, don't just throw them in a buy list thing and be like, oh, maybe it'll go up eventually. No, just like throw them on your TCG Player store.
So
just
how do you look up buy list prices to make sure you're not paying like you're not sending to a buy list that's paying like 8% of a card's
You
value?
have to. This is what I do when I go through.
What do you use?
I pull up 3 things when I'm working on stuff. Right. I pull up MTG stocks. I pull up Card Kingdom buy list, and I pull up the blueprint when I'm dealing with commons and uncommons. I compare the blueprint to the Card Kingdom buy list, and then I look the card up on MTG stocks if it's one I am not sure of. And that's helpful not only in telling you the retail price, but also the trajectory of the card. So especially with Pauper recently, there's been a lot of stuff where, yeah, you can get like, oh, I'm getting 60% on Card Kingdom buy list. That's great. Oh, but wait, 60% of, $1 is 60 cents, but this card is just blowing up because Pauper, which I can see because I'm actually looking at a graph and not just the number.
You can see if it's on a downward trajectory.
Right.
You can see if it's on an upward trajectory. You can see
And
if
it
it's
even works
plateaued.
with, right. And it even works with rares and foils, right? And there's been some like that where it's just, it just pays to check on some stuff. And some stuff it doesn't matter. And some stuff you'll know well enough, right? Say the price of Relentless Rats has been what it is forever or so on, right? But between Pauper and just generally right now, a lot of prices going crazy, you can get a lot of information from doing those things. And it's a bit more time consuming, but it guarantees you don't sell a card for 8 cents, it's worth $3. And I just have a pile at the end of it. Even if I don't want to, for me, I don't list on the TCG Player store or anything like that. I just either decide to take it into my own store or I just put it in a pile to check back on the buy list, a month from now or whatever, right? When it's done going up. So that's the best way to attack that. All right, I've got a Commander 2017 pick since this is one you're probably actually finding in bulk right now.
Path of Ancestry?
It is not Path of Ancestry. That would be quite easy. It is, however, an artifact. It's a common artifact that has been printed, I believe, once or twice before.
Common artifact.
Armillary Sphere?
It is not Armillary Sphere. It's actually it just got reprinted in Masters 25 is probably a better place for this. But even after that, it's a pick. So between Commander 2017 and Masters 25, you should definitely find copies of this card. Common artifact.
Masters 25, like, was it a 1-mana artifact?
It is a 1-mana artifact.
Okay, well, it's either, what was it?
Wow,
is it Wayfarer's Bauble? Is that Masters 25?
No, Wayfarer's Bauble. It's not Wayfarer's Bauble.
Well,
You stupid idiot.
It's Nile, right?
It is Nihil Spellbomb, yes.
Yep.
Nihil Spellbomb was in Commander 20.
It was in the Wizard deck.
Jeez.
Yep. They've done a good job printing it because it had actually spiked to $2 or $3 there for a minute. But yeah, it's basically $1. And the great thing is the Masters 25 copy, because it's just, sort of peak supply for Masters right now. It's only like a quarter, and all the other copies are above $1. So obviously they're going to end up meeting somewhere in the middle. But what that means is it's going to be in the middle at 75 cents, and you're still going to get quarters for them. So this is a pretty good pick that you can actually find in a lot of bulk right now. Which is pretty helpful.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's bulkable as hell, and there was a period where it dipped. Everyone's like, "This is a really good card." Then it just dipped, and everyone started bulking it out. And then
it's been up and down in modern playability for sure.
But it's like it's a good EDH card. I know
is,
DJ's first deck, Sidisi, loves Nihil Spellbomb.
I play it in. I mean, it's a Trinket Mage target.
You don't play that in, not Sidisi. What's the other?
Glissa was not my first
Glissa.
EDH deck, but she was my second, so close.
Oh, don't correct me. The Glissa's the card you're like, that's the card that got me the scholarship that I squandered. Or whatever.
Hey, that scholarship got me...
Hey, John Finkel, I went to college. Oh, cool. What are you doing now? I dropped out to sell Magic cards. And he's like...
I graduated.
Sure you did, buddy.
You graduated undergrad, sure.
just like both of you. So
I didn't drop.
you're not
I didn't
just
drop
like
out
me.
of school actually, so it's unlike me.
so I have more school than you, Corbin.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a good point. He has more
you're
school than you.
failing. You failed more school than I have.
I
That's for
didn't
sure.
fail.
You failed to graduate for more school than I have. That's for sure.
You failed to get accepted into a graduate program.
You can't fail what you don't try.
I mean,
Jesus, was that
Ooh.
Yogi Berra? That's profound.
Man,
You don't miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Michael Scott.
Michael Scott, yeah, Abraham Lincoln.
Wayne Gretzky's lazy brother who played in the OHL.
All right, Jason, you got a breaking bulk for us?
Fuck yeah. I've been getting these in bulk. It's not a bulk card, but I've been getting them in bulk. People have been buying these in like EDH decks, and they sounded to me. It's a card called Baleful Strix. What's that all about? That's not bulk.
It's true. It has come down a lot from where it was. At one point, this was a $4 or $5 card.
I have a card that's been printed 5 times. It's been in how many dual decks? 2 dual decks. It was in Modern Masters and 3 dual decks. Oh, wow. No, never mind. One of those dual decks was Dual Deck Anthologies. I got tricked. It was in 2 dual decks, Modern Masters and Ravnica. It's a common.
What color?
Black. You better get it from that.
Original Ravnica?
Original Ravnica.
that was a black common A.
Original common from Black.
Original
Ravnica.
Ravnica, original Modern Masters. And 2
Dark Blast.
dual decks.
Dark Blast.
No, it's a creature.
Stinkweed
And
Imp.
Dark Blast is uncommon.
Stinkweed Imp.
Yeah,
Oh,
Stinkweed
yeah,
Imp.
good call.
Get those in common all the time. Don't know why. It's a really good dredge card. It has dredge 5. 5's a big number. You know,
Sure.
it's got
It's the biggest dredger now that old homeboy's been banned.
well, and it's got death touch, so like it's not completely worthless when you run it out. Stinkweed Imp's just been one of those cards like, hey, we can print it into powder, but it's gonna approach $1. It's got
Well,
dredge, so like you bury it and then it just comes right back. It dredges 5 and it's like, I'm gonna be $1 soon.
You know
So-
what's interesting here is it's actually both versions, the Modern Masters and the Ravnica, are at all-time highs.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Dredge is, I'm not going to say unplayable or anything like that, right? But it's like a tier 3 deck in Modern.
Yeah, but you
It's
look
not
at something
good.
that okay, now imagine that Stinkweed Imp had never been reprinted. What's a card from original Ravnica that has dredge? Let's say 4. You know,
Is it
Thug.
Golgari Thug?
Golgari Thug?
Golgari Thug has
That's-
been reprinted, though.
It's true.
Has it? It's
Yeah,
almost
it was
$5.
in the same dual deck as
Sin, yep.
Stinkweed Imp.
Oh,
Is it versus Golgari?
Oh, you're right. Because is it
Is it versus Golgari? And
It
it's
has
$5.
Another deck, yeah.
Is it versus Golgari is nuts. That had Isochron Scepter. It had Life from the Loam. It had
It had
the,
the big
Golgari
one
Grave
too,
Troll?
right? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that deck is nuts. Bouchard and I like went to a Target and they had like 20 of them and we're like, let's do it. We bought
Yeah,
them
that
all,
dual deck has.
and I've been sitting on like 10 of them, and the dual deck is it versus Golgari is nuts. Like the Isochron Scepter goes up, it's got a really sexy is it signet that's like the art that's only been printed one other time. It's got a Golgari signet. The art's only been printed one other time. It's got the Life from the Loam, which is
got
like
Dakmor Salvage.
the Life from the Loam is worth what we paid for the whole deck. Yeah, Dakmor Salvage. It's got the guy that you sack a creature to make him discard.
Well, here's
Sadistic Hypnotist, Jason.
yeah, Sadistic Hypnotist is $3 too. That's the real surprise I think to most people here.
Well, it's like just a sick EDH card because
Yeah.
you play that Nath and it's like it's a combo. You can make everybody at the table discard their whole hand. So like that deck was nutty, but like yeah, go find them online. You can't, but like Golgari Thug was reprinted there, and that's 2 printings on that, and that's like almost a $5 card
Because
so.
it was uncommon in the original printing. Yep.
Yep, so Stinkweed Imp is a card that's just like, who knows when they're going to reprint it again? Like I think they've done it enough. They're probably going to leave it alone. In which case, Stinkweed Imp is probably $2 soon. But like, I think you just pull these out of bulk for sure. With all the printings, that's 5 different chances people got to be like, that looks like bulk. So I get these all the time. I made a big old stack of them, and I just like sold them out of Card Kingdom. So That's why I targeted this card, because I found a bunch this week and I finally got my shit together. And
all right, guys, I have a question for you. Do you like playing Magic?
No.
Do you like playing Magic?
Absolutely not.
Do you like playing Commander?
God no, hate multiplayer.
All right. Some people here do. So you know what would be good? Why don't we create an entire Magic product that exists for you to play the worst form of multiplayer, Two-Headed Giant? What do you say?
You're gonna give Jason an aneurysm.
I know. We'll call it.
I will drive to Oklahoma, and I will set your house on fire, and the police will be like, "Wow, a lot of houses are catching fire on this street. They won't even investigate it."
Now this one, dang.
Anyways. At this point, they're probably going to tell us that it's going to be a draft format as well. That's typical Wizards for, you know.
No, I think it is.
It is.
It's the conspiracy.
Draft is legit. You take 2 cards out of every pack. It's a fun as fuck draft.
Somebody tell me what this is. What is Battlebond?
Battlebond is a set where they give us 5 lands that come into play untapped if you're playing EDH, and that gives me a bill boner.
And that's about it.
I think that's all.
That's about it so far. You know what? Gavin went on Twitter. He's like, they let me basically pretend this was an EDH set. So you know what? Battlebond combines my 2 favorite things. Two-Headed Giant, which is my favorite format to play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shout out to Aaron the Godslayer. And EDH, which is my favorite finance format.
What level of Patreon does somebody have to be to play a Two-Headed Giant event with you in Vegas?
Woo!
First,
you got to get Jason to the site.
You have to be Joey D, basically. That is the guy I will play Two-Headed Giant with. Sorry, everybody else.
No, but
I'm going to find out Joey D is like a $10 patron.
Everyone has a price.
You know what? Joey D's not even a $40 patron, so he's slacking. And he lost in the top 8 of another PPTQ this week wearing a Brainstorm Brewery. Don't wear our shirt if you're going to play like shit, dog. That's all I'm saying, right?
Wow. Told him.
Hey, he said, hey, man, last week that was a little harsh when I top 8 in your shirt. And you said that I shouldn't wear your shirt. Well, you know what? Don't embarrass us. You can put the shirt on in the finals if you win. How about that? You hold it up like a banner. You put that in your bag until you play well. You lose in the top 8,
does anyone care about Battlebond outside of the lands?
I mean, there's probably
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
yet. They
relevant
haven't
reprints in this
spoiled
set,
any
right?
cards.
Like,
we don't know.
there's
There's so little information to before we can make a call on anything, you know.
Oh,
Dude,
absolutely.
I think
Yeah.
Battle-
This product's going to have a lot of cards that get reprinted, just like Conspiracy 2 had. Phyrexian
I agree.
Arena, Platinum Angel, Burgungening or whatever.
Burgunging.
As Ryan Bouchard pronounces it.
As DJ pronounces it.
What?
Aren't you the one who couldn't say that word recently?
No, it was Bouchard,
that
dude.
was Ryan.
I called it Burgunging.
My bad.
Yeah, I own it when I mispronounce words. But
All right,
don't call me on shit.
We own it, technically, but... Yeah.
But yeah, this product's going to have a lot of those type of cards, and they're going to drop to basically nothing, and then you're going to have a really good buy-in opportunity because these types of products aren't opened as much as people think they are, just because of how difficult they are to open as a draft. You have to actually get 8 people together with them. Stores usually struggle to fire these events consecutively over multiple weeks, and so you're going to get some type of card that is like Gisela or like Phyrexian Arena level or like just some $8 to $10 commander card. It's got Vidalcan Ori is another really good example. It's going to go down to $2 or $3, and you're going to say, I should buy a giant pile of those. And you should, because then a year and a half later, it's going to be 4 times what it was. So these sets are going to have very good buy-in opportunities, but you won't know what those are until 2 weeks after the set releases.
True. For what it's worth, though, the lands are really sweet. They're dual lands that come into play untapped if you have 2 or more opponents, which just means they're free duels in Commander.
Except you can't fetch them.
Sure.
Yeah, well, you can't fetch a Coom Refuge, but you don't see anyone, writing a story about that, right?
People play lands that come into play tapped all the time, and these are just great manifesting.
Yeah, but they're temples.
Sure. I mean, that's all fine. These are sweet, and they're definitely going to be played, and they're definitely going to be...
yeah.
This is also an excuse. So there are only 5... it looks like, and so we will likely only get to see the enemy set anytime soon if this product does really well. So similar to how Conspiracy and Conspiracy 2 were relatively close to each other because Conspiracy 1 did pretty well, we're likely only going to get to see the enemy color cycle of these if everybody loves Battlebond.
These are definitely showing up in Commander decks.
Eventually, yeah.
Like, this year.
You think? No, I don't think so.
Why not? Like, they certainly
This
could.
year?
Because these lands are going to sell their product.
Yeah, they want these
Yeah,
lands
and then
to
they're
be-
going to sell their commander product after they've sold their Battlebond
No,
product.
I
I
disagree.
mean, you gotta wait a little while. You gotta wait a
I
little
will
while.
bet. I will, dude. I'll Fogo bet that these lands
Not
are in
Fogo betting on this. I don't feel that strongly about it, but I would
Well,
not
then
be
shut
shocked.
your mouth.
I'm just saying I would not be surprised to see them hit on this design and then just like run it into the ground.
I would be very surprised to see that
Dude,
happen.
they wait half a decade to finish cycles sometimes, though.
Yeah, they could go that route.
There's also the
They could
issue
also
of-
just say that these are now. They could easily say that these are something we want to make evergreen for commander players because they're great. They're going to be cheap. They're great mana fixing. And I know it doesn't necessarily mean much to us. You talk about fetching. Fetch lands are expensive. There's a large segment of commander players who buy the decks off the shelf and do some upgrades to them, but they're not putting $30 fetch lands into them to go with their $15, $20 shock lands. What they can do is Wizards can make the price of these things $3 to $5 by printing them over multiple years over and over again, and now everyone has good mana, has reasonable mana fixing that is specific to Commander. Like, I can easily
over
see
3
them
to
doing
5
that.
years. We're not going to see him in 2018.
Well, I'm saying they could just throw these in multiple, like, I don't know. I just would not be surprised. They've done it.
I think it's a good idea because it makes the game a lot more affordable
exactly
for people, and they don't have to play god awful, come into play tap lands because that's like it doesn't even feel like you're playing Magic at the same level as people when you play like your tap land, your guild gate to play tapped, and you gotta bounce it back into your hand with your bounce land, and at that point it's like turn 3, everyone's playing their Soul Ring, and you're like you have 2 permanents in play.
Yeah,
Good
I
job,
think that,
you're winning this.
Yeah, I think that there's obviously conflicting like goals here, right? If you're Wizards, on the one hand, you can sandbag these lands, let them all hit $10 or whatever over the infinite commander play they're going to get, and they were just in Battlebond, and then release the other half of the cycle 5 years from now. Or you can go the other route, which they have done with cards that cost money in the past, and just say, you know what, we think all commander players should have access to these because it levels the playing field without damaging other segments of the population, the Magic population, right? So, that's a real thing. They could just decide to go that. Exactly. That's my point. Like, they could just decide that now we have this design. We think this design's great. We think everyone should have access to this, and they just do it every year, and people are always happy about it. Because just like all the other things we talk about being perennially worth money, these I think will be too. Like, these are just. I want to play these in my commander decks, and I run expensive fetch lands, right? But the guy who doesn't have any of those fetch lands or shock lands is going to love these, and I think it can appeal to everybody. And I think they're just always going to be $3 to $5, even if they reprint them every year. So, anyways, we'll see what actually happens. But I wouldn't be shocked to see that come around.
Well, you won't be
2018.
shocked because these come into play on tap without dealing you any damage.
Good point.
Blue.
I was actually like thinking about something like to use that pun, but you beat me to the punch.
And Jason goes for the lowest hanging fruit and beats everyone there. It's his thing.
Yeah, man. He's an expert.
All right, so let's circle back around. We talked about this early in the cast about competitive EDH. Charlie, this is a thing that you take part in, I guess.
Why are we talking about this?
Jason's mind's gonna explode here.
Yeah, no kidding, Mr. 75. Yeah, no, I do a lot of competitive EDH, and me and a bunch of local people, we do run tournaments.
You said doo-doo.
I knew he was gonna say it. I just mouthed it to the camera because I knew he was gonna say it.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead.
I said doo-doo. You got me. You got me good.
Said it again.
Wow. Yeah, so we do a lot of
Why?
You just rendered him unable to finish his sentence now, Jason. Good job.
Yeah, no, I'm speechless.
Tell me about these.
We do have a what's up?
Go ahead. Explain about competitive EDH.
Yeah, so it's more of like a mentality. Everyone just like builds their deck to the best they can be. Like, we're not sporting like tabernacles or time twisters or anything like that. Like, we do have like some people are running Mana Crypts, some people are running Mox Opals, that kind of stuff. Whatever makes sense for the archetype we're playing, but like it's more along the lines of that we're definitely try and make sure we play Magic to the best of our ability, and we just play a tight ship, you know.
What does that even? That's not a real idiom there.
Well, this sounds.
So it was.
I mean, this is what like my friends and I do this too when we play. Like our decks are good. We run tutors. Some people run mana crypts and stuff. I don't, but like people play seriously. But even that feels different to me than when I walk into a store holding a tournament on a night during the week, specifically for prizes for competitive Commander players, and everyone's just playing absurd, broken, kill you on turn 3 things, right? And it's not even a question, like they are playing Tabernacles if that's their thing or whatever, right? Everyone has a mana crypt, everyone has a mana vault. Is that what you're talking about, or is this just somewhere in the middle?
You do have like everyone usually runs like that same core 15 cards, you know, like mana crypt, mana vault, that kind of stuff. And people are playing to win either fast or to lock people out of the game. That's usually like the name of the game when it comes to competitive EDH. Yeah, like sometimes you get the games that are like last to like turn 3. That's like, but it's usually an oddity. Most of them go to at least like turn 4 to 8, honestly, because people just interact with each other all the time. There's a lot of counter spells. There's a lot of like disenchant kind of effects. People are like asking themselves the questions like, should I be countering this guy's Sphere of Resistance even though it's going to lock me out, or should I keep my counter spell in my hand to protect like my win con when I go for it? I don't know.
I think it gets a bad rep the same way Legacy does a lot of the time from people who have never played that format. Because there's a lot of newer players who are like, oh, Legacy, that's the format where you just get Belcher turn 1 every game. Nice format. But anybody who's played any sort of Legacy event knows that's not true. Legacy has a ton of cheap interaction.
You get Belchered on turn 4. Everyone knows that.
Well, I mean, there's swords, there's path, there's force of will, there's misdirection, there's people wastelanding each other, death rating each other. Like, there's the famous Legacy event where a Lingering Souls token got there over 19 turns. I mean, Legacy is sort of gets this bad rep as a turn 1 format, and I think competitive EDH has the same area where everybody thinks it's turn 1 Hermit Druid go, game over, but the format actually has way more cheap interaction than you'd expect just from a glance.
Look, I'll say this.
What basically happens is that what people get the misconceptions with competitive EDH is when someone brings their competitive EDH game, their Hermit Druid deck, into a casual game, into a 75 game. And like the 75 game, they're running like 3 mana removal against a Hermit Druid. You're going to lose, you know? Like,
yeah, but that dude, and then he like gets a huge erection and dances around the store like,
Right. Well, this is this is the thing. I'll say this. I have long sort of champion the idea in my local scene that people need to play more interaction in their decks, because sort of the original intent of Commander or whatever, right, when it was originally built and the rules committee would play it, it would be this: everyone does their thing and eventually we all do our thing, we all feel like we won because we all got to cast our cool thing, and eventually some crazy thing happens and a big creature will happen to win, right? And I think that's kind of terrible, right, because the games take forever, they're not very fun, it's stupid. But turns out when you just include removal in your deck, or counter spells, or actual ways to interact, you get really good games. And yeah, sometimes if you sit down at the wrong table and you go for a combo kill and you just win, and it's turn 4 or 5 or whatever, you're like, everyone's like, oh, well, that was stupid, whatever. But most of the time, when you sit down at a table of people, and like I said, I think my group kind of straddles the line where we have competitive decks. They're not Hermit Druid decks, right? But like I can sit down and play my Carador deck, right? And go for a win. Like last week, I went for a win twice and got stopped both times, and someone else went for a win and I stopped them. And you get really good tension, you get lots of good gameplay. And I do agree that is the goal of competitive EDH as well. What I don't like about it is that the arms race that exists in Magic is basically pushed to the extreme in that, because you have to have all these expensive mana rocks, and the games often do look the same regardless of what actually happens. But more than anything, I think the problem is, and I've had this happen where people take their deck they play with on a Monday night, and they're like, yeah, I don't really win very often on a Monday night at this competitive event. I'm going to go play with the Saturday casual group with no prizes on the line. And then they roll everyone. And they're like, don't worry, I played my worst deck. And then they still roll everyone. Or they go fetch land into Underground Sea, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, go. And they're like, oh, this deck isn't even good. And it's like there's almost an incompatibility between the two groups, but you don't have the casual players ruining the games of the competitive players, right? But the competitive players ruin the games.
You have those competitive people like 75% is bullshit because your deck can't beat my Hermit Druid deck. And it's like, I don't want to fucking play your Hermit Druid deck.
Exactly. Well,
the whole point of a 75% deck is you want to go and sit down with an unknown meta and like have a chance, but like, are you going to sit down with a competitive pod? Really? Like,
it's just the lack of self-awareness
and communication. Yeah.
Right. Well, but
that's a big thing.
Yeah, but that's what happens, right? Because if they lose on Monday, if they lose on their competitive night or whatever, they really want to go test their deck. What are they going to do? You can't just. There's a smaller crowd of competitive players, so you just go to the casual groups, and there could be somebody there who bought the pre-con 2 weeks ago who was trying to learn the game, and you get in there and you combo them out of it. Like, they're just going to quit Magic. They're going to quit
you know what
Commander.
You do? You're like, oh, cool, you won, cool. Anyway, we're going to see who gets second place, and then you let that fucking dork go shuffle up their deck by themselves, and then you play a game of EDH.
It's a great way to be passive aggressive and get your point of across. It's sweet.
Yeah, it's just so bad, and it's just, a casual player can never ruin a game for a competitive player, but competitive players ruin the game for casual players all the time.
Yeah, easily. I don't know, but like the fact that there is, we kind of cater to our area. There is a place where like competitive players can go to play their decks, and I don't know, we just. Have you ever had this phenomenon where like you're playing like casual EDH, and like even though everyone's like playing a quote unquote casual EDH build or whatever, someone's gonna say, "Oh, that game was bullshit," Have you ever had that? Like, maybe they didn't interact. Maybe they got land screwed. Maybe they kept a bad hand. I don't know. Typical Magic, or maybe it was just like they were completely outgunned and like
they missed their second land drop, and then someone blew up their board, etc. Yeah,
stuff like that. And like, I don't know, I've never had that happen, like the equivalent of that happening in a competitive EDH pod. If everyone's just chill and they're like, dude, this is the time I get to play my good deck, and I get to play against other good decks, and like...
Yeah.
Oh, let's not pretend the people that build the pub stomp decks are the only chill people who play Magic. Fuck off with that.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, pub stomp decks, like,
oh man, it's super. Oh, you won on turn 1.5. Oh, that's fucking super cool. That's not bullshit at all. I'm super happy about that. Oh, cool.
It does not happen very often.
Like, I don't know, man.
Look, I understand what you're saying. I mean, the point of Magic is that it appeals to a wide group of people, right? So I like that competitive Commander exists. I just,
don't want to interact with those people ever.
And you
don't move prices, so fuck off. You don't do
well, that's not true.
Overall, just awful people. I get it.
Well, this is bringing it back around to finance. I sell those that I do like the competitive EDH crowd because that's where I sell my masterpieces. That's where I sell my high-end foils.
And
there's also certain cards that are more common to find in competitive EDH than casual EDH. Like Phyrexian Devourer is a great one in my opinion. Like that card, you never really see it in a casual EDH deck because its sole purpose is to combo off with Necrotic Ooze or Triskele or whatever the combo is. That's its role.
Well, they're the like legacy cards from 5 years ago.
Yeah. Like Mystic Remora, I'd say is like the big one, right?
Yeah, that's another one.
Like,
well, that's you know what? Mystic Remora's price wasn't even really. It was worth picking out a bulk, but it wasn't even worth paying retail and speculating on until something like Muldrotha came along for non-competitive EDH. So it's like the prices move a ton when you get more people involved. Competitive EDH is so niche that like you're going to sell the Japanese foils to those people, but in your masterpieces, you're not.
You're not going to buy. They're going to buy the regular stuff.
They're not gonna move the needle on most stuff. So even stuff like Mystic Remora that C-EDH has been on for years, even then, like they were worth picking out a bulk. But so what?
Yeah.
I'm not saying your format sucks and you're idiots. I'm just saying like it's a completely different
That's
EDH
exactly
format.
what you've said the past like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So
it's a completely different format, and it's not for most people. It's not worth learning a second EDH format on top of what they already know.
Well, no one
just to have the 5
wanders
cards
into
that are worth
right?
money
because no one accidentally does that maybe more than once, right? They think,
There's
I
no
want my local
pre-con for it. Let's put it that way.
right.
Exactly.
I mean, well, stores I think in general probably do a pretty good job of this is a competitive event. This is what it is. And I've seen some stores. What do you think about this? Stores like do a lot of different rules where like, yeah, everyone gets one pack for paying their $5 to play, and then they get a different pack if they win or whatever. But they put all these restrictions where like, if you kill the entire table once, you don't get as much, or if you do it with combat damage, you get more or something. You think stuff like that's worth it, or is it just about playing the format?
I think it depends. Fine. It depends on how many rules there are and how easy it is for the average person walking into the shop to keep track of, I think.
Exactly.
Like, if there's a gigantic rule book where it's like, oh, if you combo off with this card and add these other 4 cards, then it's this multiplier for points. Then you have to add the modifier for winning the die roll and also using a Japanese tooth and nail instead of a normal one, and like all this garbage. But like, there's certain rules that I think are like you can't take more than 2 extra turns. That's a pretty standard one where like if you do that, you lose some points. Or like casting a mass land destruction spell is I think one that's pretty popular. Whether you agree with it or not, like there's a lot of Commander Pod rules where it's just like casting mass land destruction, taking too many extra turns, comboing the entire table before a certain amount of turns. I think
this is just so much. It's just so many restrictions you put on. Like, why even bother? Just I
know one group in my local area. It's actually run by one of the rules committee members, Alex Kenny, I think his name is, and he runs. He has a sheet that he prints off, and it just shows you everything that and like people run commander tournaments, and everyone's deck gets a score, an arbitrary score between 0 and 30. Based on how fun that deck is to play against, where 15 is like, this is like a 75% build and it's very good and it can probably hold up against other decks, but it's not like overbearing. And then as you play the game, you'll score points +1s and -1s based on whether you destroy something that's not a creature, or like you destroy lands or take extra turns or mind flavor people. It's like the same concept.
So much work.
Not really. Like, you just count up your points and say, what did I do? Then you just go through, mark them on your sheet, hand it into the tournament organizer. Tournament organizer adds it up, throws it into a spreadsheet, and then you get your pairings.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of work compared to just handing out some prize packs and being done with it. It's just I don't know. I guess it comes down to whether or not you want to legislate Commander as a format with tournament rules and all these different structures and systems you put in place, or if you just want people to play and have fun with it. So I guess where you fall on that probably matters a lot in terms of what you think of all these extra arbitrary restrictions.
I think the arbitrary restrictions are kind of cool because they kind of create other goals besides winning, which is kind of what you're trying to do with Commander, I feel, You're trying to make it the experience, and it's kind of hard to make that experience by itself because people are playing with randoms, Yeah. So it's not like you're with your buddies drinking a beer. So you kind of have to create that environment, and I think creating those arbitrary little achievement sort of things kind of helps you with that, and kind of distracts you and takes your mind off of the idea of winning the game,
I mean, there's certainly value to them when you have a consistent group or whatever, right? If that's what you've got people to do. All right. Well, so what's the one takeaway you want people to listening to get from, basically whether you want them to not hate all competitive EDH players or care about the format, or what's sort of the takeaway you want people to have here?
Dude, I don't know. If a guy brings his competitive EDH deck to a pod where it's obviously not competitive EDH, fuck that guy.
Okay, good enough for me.
Yeah, but you know what? If you want to try playing that kind of fast Magic, it's actually pretty fun. It's kind of like Vintage Light, Legacy Light, whatever you want to call it. And that you like that kind of thing, and you have the collection for it. Give it a shot. It's not that bad, and it's probably a welcoming community because there's not that many people that do that kind of stuff, Right. So they'll probably take you in.
Yeah, I'd also like to chime in that I think competitive EDH is a less or more of a budget option than Legacy for playgroups who are trying to get into Legacy but don't really have the budget to drop like $500 or $600 on
Cs,
underground. Like you can't drop like, oh, I can't spend $1,000 in a playset of Mox Diamonds, but I can buy one, and then I can buy my one Chrome Mox, then I can buy my one this and my one that, and then you have a competitive EDH deck, and you're using those reserve list cards, and you're using those in an actual game, and then eventually you're like, oh, I also have half of a Legacy deck when you're ready for that.
I agree. There's value to that.
Honestly, like you don't even need dual lands, like OG dual lands for competitive EDH. It's really just the mana rocks that hold you back.
Yeah, because your life total doesn't matter when everyone gets infinite combo.
Yeah. Like whatever. Maybe if you're playing an ad nauseum deck, maybe by the margins, it's it'll become a factor. But at the same time, you're not going to spend $600 on like an underground sea versus an island when it's only going to give you like 2 life.
Yeah, and that 500 on the sea gets you a mana crypt plus your Mox Diamond plus your I don't know, your Trinisphere plus your whatever,
All right, so okay, I mean, fair enough, something for everybody. Let's do some.
What a fascinating topic!
I knew it.
It's a wonderful topic, Jason. You would love it.
Yeah, Jason is definitely the person who would claim this is bullshit about whatever game is being played.
Well, it's just like, who gives a fuck? We don't move any prices except like...
They do, though. It's a real thing. Like the Masterpiece
Yeah, Masterpiece Mana Crypt.
That's a part of the game, Jason. Those are real. Those cards are real, too.
Let's spend 99% of the episode on the 1%. Can we...
We were trying to move on. We were trying to move on, Jason, and you brought us back in. You literally interrupted me moving on to complain.
Your segues are about as smooth as the CEO of the Segway company who drove his off a cliff. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Can I talk about Pick of the Week now, Jason, or would you like to complain some more about how we're not doing Pick of the Week?
Why the fuck aren't we doing Pick of the Week?
Great.
Right now?
All right, let's do Pick of the Week.
Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. Pick of the Week. Time for the Pick of the Week.
I'll go first.
I'd rather do Pick of the Week, but hey, you know what?
Actually,
let's let Corbin be in charge. Let's let Corbin say, hey, I determine what's next. If it were up to me, we'd be doing Pick of the Week right now, but no, Corbin, I gotta drive the bus. I'm the professional. I work a TCG player. I don't own any colored shirts. Let's do Pick of the Week. How about that?
I don't own any
Pick of the Week. I think that's a better idea.
I don't own any colored shirts? What kind of an insult is that?
Collared, not colored.
Oh, it's like I do have on a white shirt. Damn.
Yeah, this is Michigan. We don't use the word colored.
Okay.
Yep, that's a trigger word.
All right.
All right.
Who wants to go first? Which one of you guests would like to go first?
I'd like to go first.
I'll go first because I don't want the guest to use the pick I stole from him. For the cast, he's like, I got no breaking bulk, but I got 5 picks of the week. So I'm like, gimme. So no one's gonna remember in 3 weeks that I stole Word of Invention from the guest.
Except our $10 patrons, because I'm putting in Word of Invention in parentheses was the guest's
got
pick.
him! Got him!
Why are you doing this?
Got him!
I can't believe you've done this.
Got
Don't
him,
worry, Jason. Don't worry, Jason.
Coach!
Just go into the spreadsheet and edit me out. It's easy.
Jason doesn't have access to the spreadsheet. Why would you think
Oh, he doesn't?
does?
Oh my god, Flex be him.
No, I don't have access to After Hours either. It's bullshit. I would like access.
Tell us about War of Invention, Jason.
I don't know anything about it. It's a $2.50 card, and it'll probably go up because it's a tutor.
It's $1.
You picked Eldritch Evolution last week. This is a worse Eldritch Evolution. I don't know why it's my pick. I don't know anything.
Card is great, though.
It's
Card
a
is sweet. It sees play in Lantern Control. It sees play in
Lantern
it's
C-EDH bullshit where like
yeah, it probably
Invention has
does.
3 blue pips. It doesn't get cast because the game's over before you have 3 blue mana to cast it.
Exactly. Why would you play that in C-EDH, you idiot?
Yup, got him.
Stupid moron.
But
I mean,
this
my
card
pick
is
of the
just
week
sweet.
is-
It's like Court of Calling, you know? Court of Calling
Yeah.
was at its like peak, it was like almost $40, you know, before it got reprinted a bunch.
Yeah.
And the beauty of War of Invention, the beauty of it is that it was actually 50 cents too. I mean, it's under $2 right now. It's a good pick. And there's also modern decks that aren't Lantern Control, but are still artifact based that play it. Like Card is just good, and it's
I have my own pick. Can you enter in the spreadsheet that I have my own pick too?
okay.
I'll consider it depending on what it is.
What's your pick, Jason?
I might deign to allow it.
Oh man, I forgot.
God. All right, Charlie, hit us with
Horn
your
of Plenty. That's
Horn
my
of Plenty.
pick.
Horn of Plenty?
I'm expecting
'cause-
Jason to just like roll off into a snooze half sentence.
No,
Ryan-
man, I'm not on
Ryan
heroin.
style.
I'm drunk, you idiot. I gotta wake up in like 4 hours and teach my daughter to read. Like, I gotta be alert. I'm not gonna nod off. That's a different kind of.
That's Ryan.
Alcohol fuels me.
Okay.
It fuels the rage, but it also fuels the great picks of the week, like Horn of Plenty, because hey, people are building Tatiova right now, and I think
Tatyova.
no, Horn of Greed, not Horn of Plenty. I don't even know what Horn of Plenty does. What is that card? I want Horn of Greed.
Plenty?
Put
Probably
that-
some baddie.
Yeah, it's probably a bad card. That's probably some Mirage card. Now, Horn of Greed, dude, that gets played in the Get Rock Monster and Green Omnath and Mina and Dent, but it also gets played in Tatiova, which is one of the most popular commanders.
Horn of Plenty's sweet.
I used to play that.
6
in
mana.
Shadowlands.
6
What is
mana
Horn-
artifact. When a player plays a spell, he or she may pay 1. If they do, they draw a card at the end of the turn.
Oh,
It
yeah,
didn't-
that's not bad.
It's a.
It didn't cost 6.
It's also
It
35
costs twice
cents.
as much.
I don't know if it's on the reserve list or not. If it didn't
not.
cost 6
Then
mana.
nothing from Mercadian Mask was on the reserve list.
Okay, so then no, it's on the reserve list. That card's boring.
Nah, dude, Horn of Greed.
Yeah,
Alright,
I agree.
Horn of
I
Greed.
agree with that. That's a sweet pick.
I don't need your approval, you guessed.
No, you just need his picks of the week to
I
steal.
just need your pick of the week. I have my own pick of the week. So I got 2 chances to hit this week, and now you're just jelly.
Jelly, he says. All right, Charlie, what do you got?
Okay. My real one is
Besides Word of Invention, which may have
besides
been
Word of Invention. Besides Word
that
of
was
Invention.
your worst pick, right? That's why you gave it to me.
Yeah, exactly. It was my silver medal. You know, you got to keep the gold medal. Anyway, so Aetherflux Reservoir is actually like my main pick. The reason why I picked this one is because it's great in casual. It's great in like Commander. It's great in it's like great in like all those like multiplayer kind of formats where you have
Do
a
you
high
know
life
what casual
total.
commander looks like, though?
What's up? Yeah, you're playing your stupid life gain deck, and you're like, yeah, 100
Yeah,
life.
it's
What
about
am I gonna do
right.
with this
Yep.
100 life?
Alright, yeah, you're
I'll
good.
play our Aetherflux Reservoir and I win the game.
Yep.
So it's like a sweet payoff for that. If you're playing like a spells deck, I guess you could like run this kind of card as well. But like the thing is, this thing is not only going to get reprinted in a master set because it's never going to go in like a commander product. Like how miserable would that be if it was in a commander product? You
Yeah, that
know,
would be dumb.
like it's either going to like just abruptly win the game for you.
It
or
could be
it's
in a
going
core
to, like-
set for what it's worth.
Yeah, it could be in a core set, but like at that point, you know, you might, if you don't already have a few of these, you might as well pick a few up if you're going to make like a casual janky life gain deck.
You think this is a long-term pick, though, right?
I think so. Yeah. Especially if you're getting a foil because it's going to be the first printing.
Yeah, it's
Even though the card,
there's a lot of copies of it out there right now.
there
So-
is.
It's definitely long-term. Everything you said is true, but it's just a lot of copy to work through.
Fair. I still think like I don't know.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I just think it's like, I just think it's important that people listening have a, time frame, right? This isn't go buy them out tonight or whatever. It's keep an eye on picking these up.
Yeah, this is not going to be like a get rich quick scheme here. This is the long game.
Not the reserve list, which is my pick of the week, and might make you some money quickly.
Your pick of the week is the whole reserve list.
That's it. I did it.
Nice pick, Rudy.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so I think what people are missing with the reserve list buyouts right now, and it's actually just really stupid, is that what's happening right now that's driving all these buyouts is all the things we know it is, the greed, blah, 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 etc. But people are just abusing the lowest stock on TCG Player. And at some point, the buyouts at least somewhat corresponded to playability. More and more, they're not. Which is insane because there's playable cards on the reserve list that are just getting left
But
behind.
dude, Talarian Serpent, come on.
Yeah, right? Like, it's just insane. There are actual playable cards on the reserve list that
Are
haven't
you telling me
spiked.
reparations isn't super sick in C-EDH?
Yeah, like, it's just nuts. And people are like, oh, reparations is now $20. I can't afford the reparations I was going to buy. No one was ever going to buy reparations. This card's stupid. But people might buy Peacekeeper, which is my pick. This card has seen play in Legacy before. It'll probably see play in Legacy again. It's on the reserve list. It's It already spiked once at the beginning of 2016, which is forever ago in terms of reserve list buyouts. Since then, it came back down, and now it's starting to move back up. And this is one of those, sorry people getting this cast on Friday, it might or might not be gone by the time you get there, because there's not very many out there.
People that don't go to Brainstorm Brewery's Patreon at patreon.com.
He got there. He got there.
Shut up,
Ask
DJ.
Jeeves.
Whoa, let Jason do his spiel.
No, DJ's got it.
DJ, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go to Brain Patreon's Storm Brewery. I'm Jason.
You got nothing, you ugly idiot.
That was pretty good.
I said go to Brainstorm Brewery's Patreon at patreon.com/Brainstorm Brewery if you were listening.
You did try to save it at the end.
I successfully saved it because I'm a goddamn professional, because I'm 300 episodes in. We're 289 episodes in.
Well, 289 plus like all the point.
Episode 200 part 2 is being recorded this week, so it might come out before episode 300. You know,
we might do it. Anyways, point being, Peacekeeper already spiked once and went to 10. It dropped back down. It is now in the process.
It went to 10 on playability, and then people stopped.
Well, it was a hard spike. It was clearly a buyout, but not necessarily a wrong one. That said, it's going to pop over 10 this time. There are still copies out there for under $10 as of this recording, multiple of them. So just throwing it out there. You know, this is one that if you think you might need this in Legacy, this is your chance to get one, especially if you don't care what kind of version you get, because there are plenty of moderately and heavily played copies available for like $5, and this is for sure going to pop over 10, probably 20, and then hold it because it's reserved list. So there you go.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else need to get in there with pick of the week?
I've got a pick of the week. So,
all right, let's hear it.
Do you guys know what the price of Anya Merciless Angel is?
That's from.
It's like
it is also from the Wade in the Battle deck. Yes.
$3.
Not
close.
even $3.
It's around
Below
$2.
$3.
That's on TCG Player. That's on like sites we normally check. Second question on the quiz. Do you know what?
Wait, what did I say? Did I say $3?
No, you said 3 and it's 2. So like you're close enough. That's good.
Market price is $3.08.
Okay, sure. You can find copies on TCG for 2. But
market price $3.08, buddy. I nailed it. Get out of here.
Do you know what the price of Anya Merciless Angel is on Amazon?
$7.
Correct.
I'm so good at this.
Anya
you
Merciless...
looked it up.
No, I did not. I looked up the market price after I guessed. I don't have any idea what's out on Amazon. I've never been to that website in my life.
Well, guessing's not impressive.
Oh, I'm actually curious, Corbin. Did you know the Amazon price offhand, or
no?
Oh, you just guessed 7.
I mean, it was clearly going to be more.
Yeah, for sure.
You
wouldn't
be talking about it if it weren't.
I understand that, but he
yes,
just got
I guess
on the
numbers.
So.
I guess the number 7 because I am really good at this.
Okay.
Go on.
So,
man,
Anya is just a card that reads and screams for casual players.
What does it read?
5 mana 4/4 flyer in red and white. Anya gets +3/+3 for each opponent whose life total is less than half of his or her starting life total, and then as long as some opponent's life total is less than half, she's indestructible. So she is the prime example of a win more Timmy giant angel that loves to smash face and kill people. And like you said, Corbin, the market price is $3, which means that copies have been selling at higher than the $2 that they are listed at. Also, if you go to TCG Player and filter by direct, the only copies listed available through purchase on TCG Player Direct are around $6. So
and that's why the market price is higher than the
So
average.
that means that people are going on TCG Direct, they're building their Angel Tribal decks, they're building their Angel Commander decks, they're building their 60-card casual decks, and they're filling their cart with Anya Archangels, and they're filling their cart with a bunch of other garbage, and then they're like,
he just
$6.
wants you to buy them from him because he's selling the Wade into Battle decks that he bought.
Shalai is what's making this happen, I assume. Because it looks like the market price on Anya has climbed around the relyse of Dominaria. And Shalai gives all your angels hexproof, I believe, right?
So, Shalai gives everything hexproof, not just angels.
Oh, JK. What? There's something...
Lyra gives all your angels.
Lyra. Sorry, Lyra, yeah. Lyra pumps them all, yeah.
Ooh,
That might be it, but I mean, like,
The Baneslayer, right?
Anya is just
Yes.
a card that stores that sell primary casual, like Tales of Adventure, they'll buy these copies up at GPs and be like, I'll pay you $2 in your Anya. And then people are like, wait, that's retail. Take that dumb garbage card. And then they go to Amazon and sell them for $7. And this is just the kind of card where enough copies are going to dry up that suddenly you're going to see this card be $6 or $7 mid, and you're going to be like, what happened? This is what
It's
happened.
spike over. The median's going to spike overnight, and people are going to cry buyout.
Yep.
Are people
Nothing describes MTG Finance better than organic demand driving a card up, but having a little bit of a confounding factor to it, and then people screaming buyout.
So what you're saying is finance cabal is a behind this. That's right. Right?
Yes,
right.
yeah, something
Finance
like
cabal.
I mean, how many people?
Are people paying $35 for Anya, or did they pay $5 because they listened to our set review episode?
There you go. All right. Anything else we want to hit on this week, guys, before we get out of here? All right. Sounds like nothing. Charlie, where can people find you on the internet if you want them to find you?
Preferably not find me on the internet. I do have a Twitter handle. I can't even remember it. Let me check.
Power user of Twitter here.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it
Oh, here we go.
Baumeister?
You can find, yeah, no kidding. I was thinking about that guy actually. You can find me at Steamboat Chaz if you want to talk to me on Twitter.
There you go.
But like, I don't know why you would. I barely go on there.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on the episode, man. It was good to talk about. That's why I like when we have guests on opening up to what they want to talk about, because we would never talk about competitive EDH otherwise. But I thought it was a pretty interesting conversation, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I don't know. Jason didn't like it, so
That's a plus, man. That's
just because I didn't like you. It has nothing to do with competitive EDH and everything to do with what a terrible guest you were.
I think it probably has to do with all of the above, actually.
yeah, fair enough. I'm pretty lousy.
Look, tilting Jason is a sign that you've made it, so good work, man.
You didn't tilt me at all, though. I'm unflappable, so I don't understand. You can do your little Twitter poll is like, is Jason tilted and or salty? And basically the only thing that makes me tilted and or salty is seeing incorrect results on those Twitter polls. So keep them coming, nerds.
Sure thing. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to Brainstorm Brewery.
Aren't
Yep,
we
go
gonna
ahead,
talk
Jason.
about where you and DJ can be found on the internet, like where your Twitter and stuff like that? You shouldn't. You gotta do that, right?
What about you?
You guys go first.
I don't like where this is headed. I sense a
fine,
trap.
It's not a trap. I just I want to go last.
I'm
All right,
Corbin Hostler.
neither Corbin and me are going, so therefore you can go last.
Go ahead.
You guys should go. Where can we find you guys on the internet? It's important for our listeners to be able to find your Twitter.
See
and, like, where you
Hostler88 on Twitter. Go ahead, Jason.
No, DJ, where are you on Twitter?
At Rose of Thorns.
Where do you write any articles or anything?
On TCG Player, they come out every Tuesday.
All right. And I'm Jason E. Alt on Twitter. I write articles every week on GatheringMagic.com, MTGPrice.com, and Thanos got last. If you didn't know that, so have a good night, everybody.
Wow. Just ruined that entire movie for me.
You've seen it. It's been out. It's been out for 2 weeks. You've seen it.
Nope.
And then you didn't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus, you're a monster. I only saw it yesterday, man.
You have to leave that in, JJ.
Oh my.